from Los Angeles, California, Hank Lauman. From Detroit, Michigan, Bobby Kowalik.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Championship Bowling here at the Strike and Spare Lanes in Northbrook, Illinois, where we're into the very important part of our series now, where the boys are making their second appearances. Already posted a 13:47 for 6 games by Bill Bonetta of Chicago, Frankie Klaus with 10:67. We expect that one to be kicked out of here this week. We will have Bobby Kwolek from Detroit, who opened with a 6:55 series. Hank Lauman from Los Angeles with 5:46. There is still $1,000 going to the winner of this match, $500 to the runner-up. Over $60,000 in prizes, all competitions sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress, all 300 games worth an additional $10,000. 3 games, total pins. It ought to be a very good one. Are you folks in Northbrook ready? We'll go in one moment.
Hank Lauman of Los Angeles winning the toss, electing to start on the left side. All games starting from the left. Hank will finish on the right in the first and third games. Throws, doesn't get there, breaks up the washout. He has the 1, 2, and the 4. In Lauman's first appearance, he lost to Joe Christoph of Chicago, 6:55 to 5:46. Kowalik was the winner in a big upset over Dick Weber of St. Louis, 6:55 to 5:73. The second time around, total pins will qualify our 2 top scorers for the $15,000 added championship roll-off. Lauman with a spare in the first frame. And the youngster from Detroit, born in Detroit, member of the AMF staff, one of the newcomers, throws a lot of bowling ball. He's left of center. Big rounder, sets it too high. 3, 6, and the 10. Kowalik, who in practice has really been bending them, he's got to give that ball room, and his tendency is crowding the head pin. When he gives it room to go, this fellow can come up with some real mixers. The 3, the 6, the 10, he covers. Very nice shot. So Bobby, matching his opponent's spare, the boys move into the second frame. $1,000 to the winner, $500 to the loser in this match. Kowalik with a 6:55 doesn't need too much to move into one of the 2 playoff spots. Of course, the rest of the field to follow, and the question will be whether he can stay there. Gives that one room, and here it comes. Great ball. Kowalik with a strike in the second frame as Lauman moves in on the right. Hank Lauman. Hank was born in St. Louis. 1919, went to California in 48. He's been a great star out there ever since. There it is. Lauman with a strike, and the boys are even at the end of 2. 20 strikes. Lauman moves left. Hank's record book shows 30 perfect scores. 4 of them are sanctioned. Former member of the great Herman team of St. Louis, team that set many records years ago, now the perennial Southern California match game champion. He's short again on the left, the 2-4-5. Henry had a bad start in his first match, 156. Had quite a few wide opens by hitting the nose. He's being very careful. Already this week, having been short twice on the left side. The 2, the 4, the 5, and he covers. Nice shot. So it's 20-40 as Kowalik moves in now to take an early lead. Lauman could not double. Kowalik now will try for his double. Notice where he's standing. Left of center on the approach. Uses the bowler's glove. Keeps it left of center. Throws it out. Sets it. He has number 2. Nice ball. Kowalik, when he knows that ball is coming in from right field, will make a mad dash to the left. And he keeps our producer and director, Sid Goltz, in stitches because he never knows when he's going to run right out of the picture. He may climb up the side of the wall here before this is over. Big turn. Here it comes. Number 3. Nice ball. This boy is really lining them in now. If he can keep it going, he has 3 in a row. A 20-pin lead over his opponent, Hank Lauman from Los Angeles. That ought to set there. Lauman is back with a strike, and he loves this right side. It's kind of a shame that championship bowling is not in color. You folks could see the great uniforms that these boys are wearing. Shirts and slacks that match. Gold King Louis shirts and slacks. Very beautiful. Bright yellow. That's the double. So, looks like we have a pretty good one going here. Lauman finally catching the left side. He has 2 strikes on the right side, and Kowalik now moves in right on 3. We're halfway in game number 1. The young Detroiter, extreme left, the big turn. Better dig it. Oh, that 10th pin a little rocky, and Kowalik has number 4. A great start at the end of 5, filling in the 30s for Kowalik. It's 80, he's on 2. Lauman is 60 on 2. Bobby now moving left, working on 4, gives it the room, it sets, he's in, and he has 1 more. Well, Mr. Kowalik looking very sharp here this week up to now. The fella that upset Dick Weber in his first appearance, 655 he had in his first round. He's chasing Bill Benetta's 1347. He needs 693 to beat Mr. Hey, we got another one going here for Henry Lauman, the Flash from L.A. Now, Kowalik needs 693 to top the leader, Bill Benetta of Chicago. Lauman needs a bundle, 546. Lauman needs, well, he needs 802. Now, you'll notice that Hank took the privilege of taking a re-rack just by pushing the button. And the AMF automatic pin spotter responds. He has 10 more Chemweld pins to shoot at, and he knew exactly what he wanted, because here we have a real great match going, ladies and gentlemen. Lauman, who missed the left side in the first and third, now has found it 2 times straight to give himself a 4-bagger as Bobby Kowalik moves in on the right, working on 5 in a row. The margin is still 20 pins. Kowalik needs it to keep the 20. He's there. Look out, 4. He's got it. 4 just a little tight. And that 4 pin was looking at him, but it finally went. And here we are, the boys stringing them out at the end of 5 as we fill in the 30s. 140 for Kowalik on 2. Lauman 120 on 2. Bobby Kwolek working on 6. We're in the 8th. He throws it. Here it comes. He's got it, and he knew exactly what he wanted. And this young fella in contention here as he kicks loose a potential 290 game. He had a spare in the first frame. He was high. The 3-6-10 he converted. Here's Lauman, who was on 4, throws too high. Nose 3-6-10. So Kowalik just throwing too many here for Lauman. Lauman, who was on 4, just seemed to hang on to that ball a little too long. And he moves up on the nose. The 3, the 6, the 10, cross lane. He has covered the mark. Nice spare. So Hank moves left side. He trails by 33 pins at the end of 8 frames. You know, one great advantage to bowling is that the whole family can participate. Many fathers bowl with their sons in father and son leagues. or the whole family can bowl together. And if the 16-pound ball's a little too heavy for Junior, he can use a lighter one. There he is. He's back. So Henry had one lapse, letting it go too high, but right back in the strike department for 247 if he can go out. And 247, he could lose this game by 43 pins if Kowalik can go all the way. We're in the ninth. Bobby, left of center. The big rounder throws it out, and here it comes. He's there, and look at it! Yes, sir! Oh, man, he had him dancing down there, and those AMF Kimwell plastic-coated pins really bouncing, and the young fellas got a string a mile long, 8 in a row. 3 more for 11 in a row. And that would win him an ABC award for 11 in a row in one game. Let's see if he can get it. He wants one. He's there. He's there. Look at here. Oh, man, this kid is really tracking him. There's another one. So Bobby Kowalik, the young Detroiter, born in Detroit, the Motor City in 1932, started as a pin boy in 1948, 16 years later. This fella gave up a draftsman career to turn pro, member of the AMF staff. This one for $290. Come on, look at that. That's 10 in a row, ladies and gentlemen. That's 10. 10 in a row. He needs this one for $290 and 11 strikes in a row. The first frame on the nose. Probably just a little nervous. Too high. Converted it. He has thrown 10 in a row. In the pocket, he has carried every one. This for the full count. 290. It is. Hey! All right. Great performance, ladies and gentlemen, by Bobby Kowalik, the young Detroiter. 290, the highest game of championship bowling up to now. Pat Patterson started a game with 10 in a row for 287. And Lauman throws one in there. He's got a strike. Boy, what a start. So Lauman with a chance for 247. Imagine, 247. He's going to lose this game by 43 pins. So Bobby Kwolek now needs 402 in the last 2 games to set a new high to get in the championship roll-ups. Lauman throws once more. He's there. Look at this game. Kowalik with 11 strikes out of a possible 12. Lauman will have 9 strikes out of a possible 12. We'll have 20 strikes out of a possible 24. 4 strikes from perfection. Here it comes. Dig it. There it is. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, a great exhibition of pocket shooting. Hank Lauman, 247. The winner, Bobby Kowalik, with 290. Don't go away. We've got a good one going here. Game number 2 coming up on Championship Bowling from the Strike-In Spare Lanes in Northbrook, Illinois. This is Fred Wolf. We'd like you to stay right there after this.
The scores for the first game, ladies and gentlemen, a great exhibition of pocket shooting. Hank Lauman, who got 9 out of a possible 12 strikes for 247, and he lost the game by, 43 pins to a gentleman who got 11 strikes out of a possible 12, Bobby Kwolek, 290. Did you like it? Why don't you guys come out here tonight? Come on out, Henry. Bobby, may I shake your hand?
Thank you, Freddie.
And it reminds me of something. That's the second time I had a chance to talk about you shooting 290 on television, isn't it?
That's right, Freddie.
Remember the last time you did it?
I sure do.
I'll tell you a little story about this, Hank. You probably never heard of it. This guy was to appear on a TV show. He's practicing, and his ball broke in half.
Well, that figures the way he was throwing.
So they drilled one for him in about 4 or 5 minutes. It was getting near air time, and he run out there, threw this ball. You never seen it before, and shot 290 the first game. Now the ball's in good shape. 9 strikes, Hank, and you're behind.
Yeah, that's what I told him. When you shoot 247, you're not supposed to be 43 behind.
It's a tough league, isn't it?
It's a tough league.
All right, I know you guys are interested in this total. Bobby, with your 655 start, you're chasing Mr. Bill Bonetti. You got 2 games to go. Henry, you're chasing Kowalik for that $1,000. Everybody's chasing. Let's give them both a little encouragement, and we're ready. Here we go.
Bobby Kwolek moving in on the left side. Game number 2. He's on a string of 11 in a row. Started with a spare. 290. Needs 402 to top Bill Bonetta. Throws. Here he comes. Number 12 in a row. How about that? Charlie Crovetti, our statistician. Nothing but strikes on the scoreboard. Charlie, I couldn't help but notice he threw that one a little faster. Did you notice? Now, this can get him in trouble. He's getting all fired up. A little more speed. He's going to run into a problem. Well, Mr. Lauman has a string of 5 going for him. What a match. Championship bowling. Hope you're enjoying it. Every week you see the game's greatest stars in action. Here's a young Detroiter thrilling the fans here at the strike and spare lanes on the north side of Chicago with 12 strikes in a row. Lauman throws. Dig that ball, boy. There's one more. So Hank now works on 6 as the youngster moves in on the right with 12 strikes in a row. He's playing lane 48. We refer to it as the right side. Left of center. 47 he plays about dead center. Another one? Why not? Oh! Look at that 10-pin solid. That was for number 13, and it was just as good as the other 12. Although I wonder if he didn't have a little more speed on that one. And that 6-pin wrapped itself right around the 10. The AMF pin spotter has put it right back as Kowalik shoots at the 10, and be so careful. Almost went past it. You know, one great advantage to this fine game of bowling is that the whole family can participate. Many fathers bowl with their sons in father and son leagues. There are mother and daughter leagues. There are junior leagues. And for you, mother, in the afternoon, join a league. Check your neighborhood bowling establishment. You'll have a picnic. Kowalik has moved left. He's lost 10 pins of his margin. He throws it out a little bit farther, but oh boy, did he turn them upside down. So Kowalik is right back in the pocket. That 10-pin didn't unnerve him, as Lauman trying to cut down that deficit of now 33 pins. This will make it 22 in the middle 6-pin. Too high, Hank. Ray Shannon and his lovely wife sitting just to the right of us. You'll see Ray in action in future weeks on championship bowling. Trying to pile up 6 games, total pins. It'll get him into the finals. Pat Patterson with a 747. Billy Wadu had a 720. They're all going on the big totals as Lauman now covers and moves left. Has a 9-pin advantage. He trails by 32 pins. Johnny King, Joe Christoph, Dick Weber, Eddie Lebansky, all in following weeks. There it is. Nice lift. And this doesn't look like the same Hank Lauman that we watched a few weeks ago when he lost to Joe Christoph, 655 to 546. Hank got started with 156. This appearance, 247. That's almost 100 more pins as Kowalik goes after the big one. He's on a strike. Started with 290s. Out too far. Oh, man, the Angels are flying. So Kowalik, after leaving the 10-pin solid, played a couple a little wide and got away with both of them. Of course, that's the type of ball this kid's known for, and watching him around Detroit over the years, any part of the head pin is his pocket on the thin side. Got a pretty good break and a hop on it. In the 5th, on 2, throws. That looks like it's solid. Oh, freight train. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're certainly seeing a great exhibition of pocket shooting. This kid hasn't been out of it since the first frame, when he hit the nose, left the 3, 6, 10, followed with 12 in a row, then a solid 10, and now on 3. Henry, what are you doing there? On the nose, and Hank has trouble on the right side, but he got away with it. So at the end of 5, filling in the 30s, Kowalik is 70 double. Lauman is 69 double. Lauman now in the sixth. Throws, sets, in, carries. Oh, this fella takes advantage of the lucky ones. That's a four-bagger, and now Bobby Kowalik, who is on his way to a tremendous total. Bobby, who fights his feet. He watches his feet. His first two steps, he's always afraid of rushing the line. He's got that thing under control here up to now. Big wind. Big turn, and he misses the seventh. Well, he gave that one just a little too much room. And he's been playing them a little thin the last two or three frames. First game, he just threw it up there. Most of them were solid. So he loses a 7-pin tap in the sixth on a shaker, and Mr. Lauman is closing the gap. There's the cover. Kowalik is a co-holder of an all-time American Bowling Congress record set in 1960. In a doubles league, he and his team captain, Eddie Lubansky, who you will see on a later show, shot 1582 for 6 games. Kowalik had 814 of that. Gotta dig it. Now he's beginning to go wide. 4 frames in a row. Bobby has been getting a bit ahead of himself. The ball coming in from right field, not in position. He doesn't have the line, and this is his biggest problem. The 2, the 4, the 5, the first difficult spare that the youngster shot at since the first frame of the first game. He covered. Well, Bobby with the spare in the 7th. He's 136 spare as Hank Lauman moves in the 7th, working on 3 strikes. Lauman on 3, sets a little tight, but he got away with it. The 4-9 up there is Mr. Henry Lauman doing quite a reverse after 546 in his first appearance. Can get out of here with 279. He would have almost 540 for 2 games. 520, 526. He'd only be 20 pins away. Will he get another one? 5, too high, on the nose, snake eyes, 7-10. So Hank has to make that mistake every second, third, or fourth frame. He started this game with 2, pulled one up and hit the nose, got away with it, left nothing but the 6, followed with 4. Then on the opposite side, goes right through the middle when he got within 20 pins of his opponent, who started with 290, Bobby Kwolek of Detroit. So Lauman is open in the 8th. 157, 176, 185 as the Detroit youngster now tries to get something to work on. He has a triple this game. He'd like a couple more. Here it comes. That's the ball. That's the ball. The big strike in the 8th. And after 11 strikes the first game, if he can go all the way, he can show us 9 more here in the second game. 20 strikes in 2 games, all the way for 246. Now, he needed 402 for 2 games to top Bill Bonetta, who is the leader with 1347. Frankie Klaus, of course, his total will be wiped off immediately. And Bobby throws, sets, look out! Oh, he gave that one a little turn. And Bobby now, not the free, easy Kowalik that we saw the first game and a half. He's beginning to push them up a bit. Threw a couple wide early in this game and got away with them. Then 1 2 wide for the 2-4-5. The strike, here's the 4-7. There's the cover. So it's still Hank Lauman out in front here in the second game. Hank has a lead of 9 pins. He lost the first game by 43. The margin, 35. Lauman back again. There it is. So Henry can go all the way for 245. He will bowl out first. And Kowalik's got to pay attention, or this match could be even in a hurry. Lauman, who has won practically every title he can win in California since going west in 1948. Appearing here on Championship Bowling. He's in there and he leaves the 10-pin this time. Sort of an in-betweener, not solid, not thin. Hank was quite a ball player in high school, went on to pitch semi-pro baseball, plays golf, left-handed, which he says is a carryover from baseball. He used to bat left-handed. At the 10-pin, cross lane, hang on, he's got it. So Henry can check in with 225. Kowalik will need 3 strikes to win by 1 pin. $1,000 hangs in the balance here, which goes to the winner, $500 to the loser. These boys are both making their second appearance. Total pins for their 6 games. Both appearances will qualify them for the finals if they can be one of the 2 highest. There's the one. Oh, that 10 pin cost him 20 pins. You know, religious faith builds spiritual and moral character, both for the individual and for the community. Worship with your family at the church or temple of your choice this week. We're in the 10th, second game. Kowalik sets. Here it comes. He's there. Nice speed, and Kowalik bowling beautifully here on the right side. He's had most of his problems on the left. After a string of 12 in a row, 11 to finish the first game, and after the first one in the second game, he left the 10-pin solid here in the second. His other pitches on the left have been on the short side, and in the 9th he was high. Now the 10th, once more, Macau. Too high, wide open. That, of course, doesn't mean too much. Means a couple of pins, possibly. And he got the strike, of course, a 220 game. He seemed to slow that one down. And it's interesting, Kowalik must realize what's going on. He knew he was throwing them a little too fast. As his string got longer, he threw them harder. And he slowed that one down too much to settle for 215. So in the second game, a letdown here, but these 2 boys could be resting for the third and final. And we have the winner of the second game, Hank Lauman, with 225. Bobby Kowalik with 215. The third game to follow on Championship Bowling. This is Fred Wolf, and I want you to pay some strict attention to these words.
Here are the scores at the end of 2 games. Hank Lauman winning the second game with 225. Hank has a total of 472. Bobby Kwolek with 215. The total 505. And Bobby needs himself 188 to become the new leader for 6 games. How about a little appreciation here? Hank, come on out. Hank, I want to ask you a fast question before we get into this third game. You shot 546 your first appearance, and if you'd have struck out there, you'd have had almost 530 for 2 games. What's the sudden change? What have you done? What are you doing different than you did last time?
Freddie, this time I'm got a little more swing on the ball, and I got the ball out in front of me a little more, and it's getting out on the lane. The other day I was more or less laying it down too soon. It was hooking too soon and getting into the nose too many times.
In other words, you're throwing it, this is what you mean by out.
Lifting it out on the lane farther, that's right.
Now, explain to me, I don't want to ask Bobby this, he's having troubles as it is.
Yeah, he's having a lot of trouble.
How do you, well, let's say he is having trouble. You saw the first game. You lost it by 43 pins with 247.
Telling me.
Now, what is his problem this game? Get a lousy 215 game.
Well, Freddie, he lost 2 hits, you know. He lost 2 hits. That would have been possibly 40 more pins for him. So, then he actually lost one. I say he bowled 1 bad ball in the whole game. He actually lost one.
A little wide over there.
On the left-hand lane, and then in the last one, he slowed up a little bit and got in the nose. But outside of that, he's been pretty close to every shot. That's the difference between carrying and not carrying, let's face it.
You're trailing by something like 28 and 5, 33 pins for $1,000.
Right.
Would you like to beat him out with that 290 game?
I would. I'd like to beat him by 1 pin.
1 pin, that's enough. Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for game number 3. Everybody here ready?
Hank Lauman starting the third game. Hank won the toss. He elected to start on the left side so he can finish on the right. He wants to win by just 1 pin, and he may need it. As he hits the nose, look out, the 3-pin. Little high. And for Hank, it's either been a strike or a little high. He missed a head pin in the first frame, left the 1-2-4. He hasn't been short since. So Bobby Kowalik needing 188. 188 the youngster from Detroit needs to top Bill Bonetta. Bobby is averaging 232 for his 5 games. Quite a performance for this youngster. It's a big game. The idea is to get as many past Bonetta as he can. Boy, he was way off with that one. The 1, the 2, the 4. Boys had a chance to rest up here, and whether the rest is doing them any good, we'll have to find out. So Kowalik misses the head pin, leaves the 1, 2, 4. It'll keep him busy. That's got it. Nice shot. No doubt about it either. Bobby was a member of the team in the American Bowling Congress of 1959 at St. Louis, established an all-time high in ABC competition, 32-43. They also won the team all events. And in that same tournament, Bobby's captain, Eddie Lebansky, set an all-time high in the all events himself. Here it comes. That's the ball. So Bobby now with a very big strike. And it'll be big, because with a double, he definitely should go on past Bill Bonetta to give the boys a new score to shoot at. 13:47. Bill Bonetta has posted. The boys have got to beat it. As Lauman winds it up, he's there, and he carries. So this is the way we started the first game. And after this very situation in the first game, in case you tuned in late, it went this way. Kowalik went all the way for 290. Lauman went strike spare, and then 4 on the nose with a 3/6-10. He picked it up and struck out for 247. 20 strikes out of a possible 24, just like that. So Henry gets his double in a hurry this game. Lauman, of course, has got to follow to keep that margin at 33. Lauman is chasing him. Kowalik needs 188 or 693, which would give him 13:48. Here it comes. Ooh, another solid 10-pin. Bad break. That's 2 of them on the same lane. He had the very same hit in the second frame of the second game when he went into the right side here with 12 strikes in a row. 10-pin. This is not an easy shot for Bob with that big rounder. Throws it out. Be careful. Be careful. Oh. Well, he didn't have much left. Saving those AMF Chem Weld plastic-coated pins. He didn't hurt that pin very much, did he? So Bobby now moves over at the left side, back on a spare, as Lauman begins to cut down the lead. He's got him down to 23 pins. Bobby reaches, throws, too high, breaks up a split. He had the 6, 7, 10. And Lauman now, in his turn on the lanes, each man bowling 2 frames. Hank can practically tie this match up to the pin after spotting his opponent a 290 start. Six, 10, he covers. Very nice shot for Bob. So it's Henry Lauman now, the Los Angeles Flash, the Southern California Bowler of the Year in 1955 and again in 1959. The only man in history to win that honor twice. Here we come. Set it there, Henry. Oh, wide open. 4, 7, 10. And it's the same story. Lauman is either in or on the nose. Hasn't had many mixers, never playing it short, always up. And of course these wide open splits have been very costly. He gets the 4-7 out of there, and that puts Mr. Kowalik back with a margin of some 30 pins with 6 frames to go. $1,000 to the winner, $500 to the loser. Kowalik needs 188 to beat out Bill Bonetta. There it is. So Hank is right back After a double, wide open, a strike in the fifth, and the Detroit youngster moves in on the right side. He was a finalist 5 times on the Professional Bowlers Association Summer Tour in 1961. Best finished was a 4th. That's the ball. No 10-pin there. So at the end of 5, here in game number 3, for Kowalik, 78, strike. Lauman, 75, strike. Here's a big one for Kowalik. He'd like to get his double. Nice ball, nice ball. And the youngster worked on that one down on his knees. So if he marks out, that 188 game ought to be safe. But from here on, every strike he can get by putting a total up there that will be that much tougher for the boys to follow to shoot at. He's got some heavy artillery appearing on future shows. On the nose. Well, that's 2 of them here on the right side. Oh, that's the old accordion ball. And Henry's still in this thing. He trails by 36 pins. He's 3 down in this game. 1 strike here. And he's not going to... Oh, maybe he is. Almost. Boy, he's got a patent on that ball. He hits the nose, and the 6, 7, 10 end up falling. All but the 6 this time. So Henry has himself an easy shot as the AMF pin spotter has put that 6-pin right back off spot, which is, of course, an ABC requirement, and it does it very well as he has the spare. So Kowalik now in the driver's seat, the big man of the hour, works on 2. He can go all the way. Let's look at it that way. If you can do it with a pencil, you can do it with a bowling ball. If he goes all the way, 258. What a total he would have. 258. Come on, Bobby. Wind it up. That's the boy. So Kowalik now on a turkey. 258. He went in with 505. That would give him 763. Come on, boy. That's the ball. And Bobby really fighting them now. They're all big. Every strike is 10 more pins, and Mr. Bonetta is now in 2nd place. So Bobby Kowalik, who had 655 in his first appearance, really flying with a big 700 coming up as Lauman looks at the 4-pin. And Bobby has wrapped up another victory. He defeated Dick Weber, winning $1,000. He's got Mr. Lauman on the mat right now for another $1,000. And he is a potential $10,000 winner if he can make the finals. At the 4-pin. He's got it. And he has picked himself up an award from the American Bowling Congress for having 11 strikes in 1 game. Lauman moving now to the left side as Kowalik is thinking about what he's going to do on the right. Lauman throws right back in the pocket. Well, Henry could have been pretty big here with that strike in the 9th. He had a chance for 233. Now Bobby Kowalik steps up in the 9th. He will complete his 3 games. Here's a big one. In the 9th, the turn. Here it comes. It's there, and he carries. And the youngster really flying. And he's coming back beautifully after being in trouble in the last 5 frames of the 2nd game. After a great start of a spare and 11 in a row. 1 more in the 2nd game to make it 12. Then a 10-pin. He followed that with 3. Then a 7-pin shaker he lost. He threw one out of the pocket, the 2-4-5, then one high. And in this game, started spare, strike, a solid 10-pin, and now on 5, he throws, and look at this fellow work. 258, that's what he can get. That's what we were talking about. 753, which will give him 1,400. 753 will give him 1408. And you may see this fella again. What a great comeback. In his first match, 200, 222, and 233. This week, 290, 215, and with this strike, 250. Hey! Conrad! Oh, he's got that bowling ball talking here this week. 258. He had 108 in the fifth. You just add 150 to that when you strike him out, and it comes out 258 every time. 763. Which will be the fourth highest total ever rolled on championship bowling. There it is. What a great performance. And Bobby Kwolek, the youngster from Detroit. Too high for Lauman. 655 in his first appearance. 290 and 215, 505, and 258 is 763. 655 in his first appearance. 1418. There it is. Mr. Henry Lauman is open in the 10th for 191. We'll check these totals, have a word or two with these two fine bowling champions as Bobby Kowalik racks up a great series, finishing with 258 on top of a start of 290. Right after these interesting words, we'll hear from both of these fellas.
Here are the official scores, ladies and gentlemen, in a great match. Hank Lauman from Los Angeles, who started with 546 in his first appearance, looked like the real Hank Lauman here this week. He opened with 247, followed with 225, thinking of going home, 191. The total, 663. That should be enough to win the average match, but he run into a slight little tiger. Bobby Kwolek, who started with a spare the first game, went all the way for 290, 215 the second game, resting up for the big finish, 258. The total, 763. How about that? That's a lot of pins. So it adds up this way. Bobby Kwolek is now the high scorer for his two appearances. He has a total of 1418 on totals of 655 and 763. He tops Bill Bonetta, pushing Bonetta down now into the second position with 1347. Bonetta had 651 and 696 last week. Now, as we mentioned, all the boys will be back that you have seen in the past weeks bowling their second match. It's total pins for 6 games. The top 2 scorers will be back in the $15,000 added championship roll-off. So right now, up on top, Bobby Kwolek with 1418, and that's an average of 236 per game. Great job. Let's call out Hank Lauman, the runner-up. Henry? I have to give you your $500 here first so you can get back to Los Angeles. And I thought maybe you might, like you had it going, but run into a little trouble in the last part of this.
Yeah, well, Fred, I threw about 4 balls today like I threw the whole 3 games the other day, and I suffered for it every time. You could see, I mean, from your seat back there, you see I got it down a little bit too soon. It's in the nose, and I'm in trouble.
In other words, you get it down too soon, and then we can see this.
That's right. You whip the ball past, you bring it inside of your angle, and it goes right to the nose, and you wind up with that split.
Now, what is the cause, Hank, to get yourself into that position when you get up here? Is it rushing?
Freddie, on most cases, I'd say yes, it's rushing. But in my case, it's not. My arm swing is slow because all my life I've gone up to the foul line fairly fast. You know that. I've always went up pretty fast. And if my arm swing gets slow or late, then I have the trouble. But as long as my arm's swinging, the speed of my legs very seldom ever bothers me.
Years ago, they used to call him the racehorse.
That's right. I used to really get up there fast.
Well, Hank, you put on a great show here. You have a total of 1209, which is about a 201 average for your 2 appearances. I'd say that's a pretty good job, but the kid here really threw one at you.
He's a tiger,
today, didn't he? Good luck to you.
Okay,
Don't go away. We may want to ask you a little bit about a bowling tip or two. Let's call out this young fella from Detroit, Bobby Kwolek, 763. Well, Rich, nice work, my boy. There's another $1,000 for you. That's 2 winners. You knocked over Dick Weber in your first appearance, and Mr. Lauman here in your second appearance. You have 1418. Now you got to sit and sweat it out for a while to see whether you're going to be back here for the finals.
Well, I hope I am, Freddie. And these weeks will be worth waiting for if I am.
They will be worth, yeah, for $10,000 more. Bobby, you've gone through this sweating routine before. I know that, for instance, in the St. Louis ABC, when you take the lead in an ABC tournament, it's a rough thing, waiting day after day after day to see if somebody's going to beat you.
That's right.
Now, you know what's following you here in this series, don't you?
I sure do. We've got some wonderful bowlers coming up here.
And some wonderful scores. I mean, you got your team captain, Eddie Lebansky, still going to kick around a little bit. We've got Dick Weber, the guy that you beat, is not out of this thing yet.
Nope.
And then you got Big Pat Patterson, who had a little 747. Big Billy Whaley, they're all big guys,
That's right.
had a 720, so they'll need another 700, but it's kind of nice to be sitting up there with the total and let those guys try to beat it, isn't it?
That's right, Freddie. I'd rather have mine than just sit back.
Now, let me go back here again and review that we have a little time. You boys threw so many strikes. You had 26 strikes, by the way, out of a possible 36. You only missed 10. Hank had 22. He missed 14. And, of course, he had a few more open frames than you did, and that was about the story, plus the fact that you were able to string them out. You beat him by 100 pins. I just noticed that, 763 to 663. Those are nice numbers, aren't they?
They sure are.
Now, there was a lapse of some kind. I talked to Hank about it. I didn't want to bother you with it. I want to ask you now. You had 12 in a row. You finished with 11. You started with 1, and you had a solid 10-pin wrap. You came back with 1. And then suddenly you started going wide. You got away with a triple there, but they were all the shakers. Oh, do you feel as though you were doing anything different?
I think I got a little careful there, Freddie. After I had that turkey, I wanted to fit the next couple in there because I knew they were big balls, and I think I started varying on my speed a little bit. I got a little fast. Then I tried to correct it, and I think I slowed up a little bit too much, and I just kind of bounced back and forth till I all of a sudden start feeling it again, and then I felt my speed was good again.
Well, we could notice back there, Charlie Crovetti, who was our statistician and a fair to Midland kegler himself, it was quite noticeable to us that even your last 3 or 4 strikes in your 290 game, you were throwing that ball a little faster every time. You know, string them out. If you'd have got about 20 in a row, you might have threw a couple out the back of the building. I want a little bowling tip from you, Bob, but right now I want to go over these scores again. We'll just repeat in a great match here on Championship Bowling from the Strike and Spare Lanes in Northbrook, Illinois. You watched Bobby Kowalik put together 290, 215, and 258 for 763. Lauman 247, 225, and 191 for 663. Kowalik now is the leader. His 6 games total 14-18, puts Bill Bonetta in the second spot with 1347. Let me hear it for these two boys. They did a great job. Well, Bobby, I want you to, I know we had you on a bowling tip in your first appearance when you shot 655. Now you're in demand, you see. You shoot a total like this, they all want to know, well, this guy must know what he's doing, and if he tells me something, I might just try it the next time out. I'm going to throw a general one at you. Let's assume that everybody in our audience knows how to bowl. They average from 140 to 210. Real quick like, let's say they want to improve their game by, oh, they want to improve their average 5 to 10 pins. What would be the fastest, quickest little suggestion you might have? Tell them maybe what to look for, or make a suggestion that they might be able to hit that pocket more often. I'm going to hand you this. I'll give you a minute. Go ahead.
All right, thank you, Freddie.
Minute's worth.
Well, I think that the bowlers, regardless whether they're averaging 140 or, like Freddie says, 210, I think one thing that we should concentrate on, I think all the professional bowlers concentrate on, and that's taking their time and getting themselves set before they go into the actual approach. A lot of times you see people come up there and they're thinking about getting a strike. Before you know it, they're thinking so hard about that they get up to their approach, to their starting position, and then all of a sudden they just shoot right out without taking their time and concentrating on that target, whatever it may be. It might be a spot, it might be a pin, it might be a spot right down at the foul line. But whatever it is, I think if you just take that one little extra second and get yourself set before you go into that approach, I think that'll help quite a bit. I know it does me.
Thank you very much, Bobby. Let's give him a nice hand. Bobby Kwolek. Along that same line, one of the boys in recent weeks said, always think positive. In other words, walk up there, get your bowling ball, and say, I can get a strike, and then go get it. Or if you got a spare, I can make the spare. Never think you're going to miss a spare. That's my tip. It isn't worth a dime. We'll see you next week here on Championship Bowling. Fred Wolf. Try to join us. It ought to be a great one. Until then, I just want to remind you once again that you don't have to play a sport good to be that good sport. Be one. Matching shirts and slacks used on championship bowling by King Louie. Championship bowling is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress, and we wish to thank AMF for their cooperation in helping us to produce championship bowling.